Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to give you a little warning that after the intro music, the volume is a little low. Sorry about that. I try to fix it as best as I could, but after that, the volume should be good. So if it's not, please let me know. Otherwise, enjoy this episode.
Welcome to Vampire Radio!
Okay, I wanted to get this for today's show, which I'm going to record later today. But I wanted to get this in real quick because I'm over here in deep meditation and praying and just closed my eyes and just sorted out what I needed to, release things that I needed to. And when I opened my eyes, it was overwhelming because it's like, I don't know if you guys can relate. I became hyper aware present. Like, you know, it's good to be present in the moment or whatever. They say depression is when you're living in the past. Anxiety is when you're living in the future. To be at peace, you need to be in the present moment, right? So it's like I was so in the present and I just was staring at this wall here in the Batcave, and it's my background that has the pirate ship. And then on the other side of it, it's my little bamboo wall. And I was just kind of like, whoa. And it's not because I am a smoker. I was able to release what I needed to. And I just wanted to share that with you guys now when it's happening versus retelling the story later. Hola, hola, hola. You are listening or watching Vampire Radio here on the Vampire Radio Network. Of course, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Shelly from Kelly. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host, the podcast dog, Minnie the Moocher. And oh my goodness, what a way to start off the show, huh? Here's what's interesting. I recorded that, I want to say like 2 months ago. That's right. Like 2 months ago, I recorded that. That's why when I initially was going to release this Wake and Bake revisit episode, it's just been taking me a long ass time for many, many reasons. And that's why there's been some times where there's inconsistency on the uploads over here. But anyways, here I am to revisit it. And on that day, like I had mentioned, that was a moment I had right here in the Batcave. And there, right, is the ship, the pirate ship I was talking about. And I cannot remember exactly what kind of breakthrough I had that day, but I've had so many breakthroughs, let me tell you. Long story short as I can make it, I've been having reoccurring dreams about boats. Not so much pirate ships, but sometimes it's a cruise ship or just a really big boat. Things like that. Never a pirate ship. But this reoccurring dream I have, and it's like different scenarios may play out on it, but now that I kind of connect all the dots, and I think that's where I was at that day when I recorded that voice memo. I feel I've been trying to, for years now, decode that dream, right? Been trying to figure it out. I was like, what does this mean? And there's times I've thought that maybe I was on the right path of decoding it, but deep down inside, I knew that wasn't it. So I still am not 100% clear, but more is clear to me now than ever. And I would just love to sit here and tell you guys the detail of my dreams. But I'm not going to give out my energy like that because you never know who's listening. Oh my goodness, where are my ladies at? Because I just washed my hair and it is just like all over the place, flipping and flopping. If you're watching this, you're seeing a lot of that. I'm so sorry. It's annoying. It's annoying me that my needing to be trimmed bangs getting in my face, but it's because my hair is super clean right now. So I just wanted to throw that out because it's going to bother me, but I feel if I just throw it out there to you guys, it's all out in the open so I can move on. So let's just get right into this. This episode we're going to watch together right now. And again, I haven't revisited. I had notes. And where are my notes? We're just going to go through it as we go right now. F the notes. That was a couple months ago. I am definitely in a different vibe of myself than I was just a couple months ago. In a good way, though. In a totally good way. But this episode was really interesting revisiting back a couple months ago because there were some parallels that had happened. We'll get into that when the time comes. And it'll be interesting to revisit it now with you guys because, to be honest, I completely forgot what I even talked about. I don't know why this episode in particular has been so difficult for me to get through and do. And it's not like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I don't want to put it out. I don't know, it's weird. This is the second Wake and Bake I ever recorded here when living here in this house, and it was in 2020. So let's get right into it, shall we?
It's time to Wake and Bake, the Wake and Bake morning show.
Hola, 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 hola. You are listening or watching the Wake and Bake morning show here on the Smoke Out Network. Of course, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelly from Kelly. And let's just be honest, my audio is not the greatest, and this isn't going to be consistent with the rest of today's episode because I already recorded it about, an hour or so ago. 2 hours almost now. And so now here I am, Shelly McFlying from the future back into time to start this week's episode right. Did I say that right? To start this week's episode right. And I didn't even do that right. Well, as we know, Halloween is around the corner. October is this week, so I thought, you know what? I'm a theme girl, so I might as well make this episode part of that Halloween theme. Because I don't know if you know this, but I can change into Halloween vibes so easy. So easy, I can do it just like this. I'm Pirate Shelly, or at least doing the best I can as being Pirate Shelly. Oh, it's been a day. Let me tell you something. So, today, first of all, if you've been watching what's been going on with me on Sunday, I was able to go to one of my favorite tiki places, and by the time I got there, because I had plans earlier in the day, and they ended up falling through, because long story short as I could make it, we didn't get to the place on time. So we went to an alternative spot, which is one of my favorite spots, called Tonga Hut here in Los Angeles. It's super famous because it's one of, I think, the oldest tiki bar still in town. That's from back in the day. So I had 2 drinks there. Now, it's a hit or miss sometimes when you go to tiki places. Usually this place is a hit. It was a miss. We were there for a little over 2 hours, and I had 2 drinks the entire time. One of the things that they have there, though, is they don't have a kitchen, but they have a food person come in. On Sundays, it's usually this thing called Tiki Dog. They have veggie dogs as well as regular hot dogs. It's really awesome. But I think I wanted something more. So we ended up getting pizza delivered to us, and I ended up getting Domino's. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Domino's. They have these bread knots. Sometimes they put so much oil. It's so effing good. And as we were eating, I was dipping my pizza in the oil. And I was like, I know I'm going to regret this later. It's going to F me up. I don't care. So the pizza was the heartiest thing I had to eat the whole day. Earlier in the day, I had a banana. I think I had a box of raisins. Not much, because I thought we were going to go to this other place that it was my fault. We were late too, and we didn't get there in time. So, everything was cool, man. And then by the time we got home, I just had this whole thing where, like, I got really sick. I thought I was gonna die. I was throwing up and having diarrhea at the same time. It was bad. So come Monday, I thought I was going to wake up feeling totally fine. That wasn't the case at all. So I was all effed up on Monday until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then that's when I started to hit the road to recovery. Then yesterday, I woke up and I didn't feel nauseous. I didn't have any stomach issues, but I had such a headache. Such a headache. Like, so bad that, like, it just took me out. And yesterday, when I planned on filming this Wake and Bake, I was all ready to go and everything, and I ended up having to lay down for a little bit, and I ended up passing out for like an hour. And then after that, I was like, dude, my headache's still here. And it was so hard. So yesterday was a F up. Then today I was all gun-ho. I was like, okay, great. It's awesome. I'm taking care of things like cleaning up the house, making water for the birds. Everything was fine. Then there was this like weird thing that started happening in our house where like some of the power kept going out. It was really annoying. So I couldn't really record because like my ring light, for example, would probably keep going on and off, and just different things like that. There was noise, trying to figure out what was going on. The electric company ended up coming out. They still haven't been able to fix it. So hopefully we'll be okay. I think so. Okay, first of all, let's talk about how awesome my freaking tan is in that video. So awesome. My skin looks so smooth. I wish I was that tan right now. Being a self-tanner person, and then your life gets flipped upside down and it's hard to schedule time to do your self-tanner. It's a thing. It's a struggle, people. And I want to be tan. I'm my best self when I'm tan. I'm telling you. I know a lot of people are like, well, who cares? But I care. Okay. And that matters, right? I care. So it's so funny that the beginning of the clip was crappy audio, because this is going to be crappy audio. I already know this because I didn't have time to mess around with like what microphone's gonna work. I think I've solved my microphone issue. We shall see. But until then, you're gonna get the bush league right now. Like, I just can't be bothered, okay? And what's interesting is that day where I'm wearing the Tune In With Me top. That was the day I recorded 2 videos. I recorded one video for the TV show Tune In With Me. It's on Monday through Friday on MeTV2, on MeTV. And it reruns on MeTV2 in the evening. So I recorded this video when they were doing this whole thing where they would have their fans on there. It was really, really cute. And then after that, I did this video for Daffney. She had just passed away, and a bunch of people in wrestling were making this video together. Now, here's the thing. I just will give you facts. Like, I don't know the details. I could just tell you my side, okay? This is, what I'm about to say is just no negativity to anyone. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Who knows? This is just my perspective, okay? So there's a group of people doing a video for Daffney after she passed away. It was so hard for me to do the video. I was so effed up in my head over her passing, and I couldn't even imagine someone like Francine that was super, super close to Shannon. She was my friend, do not get me wrong. And we have had some powerful conversations. And I've gone there with her where I wouldn't go with just anyone, right? But we weren't BFF. So it just really took me out of my element. It was so weird. And so long story short, it was hard for me to record this video. And I actually did the tune in with me one first to kind of get me in the mood and like creating. And I thought that would help me do the video for Daffney. So when I got to do the video for her, I had to do so many takes because I was just having panic attacks. I was freaking out about death. I was freaking out about her specifically and how everything tragically went. It was hard and it took me out. It took me out. And I knew that day that's why I had to do the wake and bake before any of that. Like hours before, or did I say an hour? I can't remember. So it's like, I did that purposely because I knew there was a chance, a possibility that it would take me out to do that video for Shannon/Daffney. So it really hurt my feelings that A, my part of the video was never used. And B, when I would reach out, no one would get back to me. Now look, maybe it's nothing personal and whatever, that's fine. I'm not here to be like, oh, this and that, and this is the tea. I'm just simply revisiting a wake and bake with you guys, and I'm telling you guys what was going on behind the scenes. Like that's what I said, no negativity. I don't even know the full story of why they decided not to use it and why no one decided to get back to me. I have no idea. It could be valid. Maybe it's like whatever. It could be whatever. At this point, I really don't care. I just want to make it clear. The only reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I find it interesting now watching it back with you guys. And that's the whole point of this, is to see where I was. And I remember my microphone was messing up. The same one that I had used earlier for the wake and bake, where it sounds so much better. It was messing up and I just couldn't be bothered. And I knew I had to get that dang intro done. So that's what was going on over there. Okay, let's get back to the episode and see what else happens. Okay, how can I forget this? Hold on real quick before we get back to the episode. The day I was rewatching this wake and bake, which again, this wake and bake, I think it was in September of 2020. So a couple months ago, when I was watching this, I was at the very beginning, and as I was watching it in the house, the electricity was going on and off. And I told Metal Jesus, I was like, dude, what is going on here? This is creepy. And so we're checking the fuse box, the whole thing. And I was like, dude, that's so weird. And then I went back to going back to the episode and revisiting it. So then in that dang episode, when I said that the electricity was being weird and the electric company had to come out, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I told Metal Jesus, I said, listen to this. And I put my earbud in his ear and I was like, dude, that is trippy that this video is 4 years old. Here I am revisiting it so I could take notes, so I can do my little inserts, so I can put it out on Vampire freaking Radio. And on that day, there was this electrical problem. And then here we are. Today, we have this electrical problem. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. So why don't we go ahead and start this for realsies, okay? So last week I thought I used unlicensed music, but what I goofed on, if you went to the credit where I credit the music, it says background music, not copyrighted background music. So I went ahead and made a little playlist of music. Let's go ahead and go with this one. And I'll definitely link this
below. So if you would like to listen, this one says it's, I listened to it for long. Let's go to the beginning. It's a good 3 hours. So let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. All right. Oops, I forgot because it's YouTube. I have to keep it open. That's fine. All right. It's time to wake and bake, even though right now it is not the morning. It is 1:15 in the afternoon, but it's okay. You'll see this tomorrow morning, and it'll be your wake and bake time. So let's get right to it, shall we? Taking a toke with my folk, for my folk. Cheers, amigos. Or amigas, if we ever get any ladies over here. Hey, ladies.
And guess what? Fast forward, we got a couple ladies in the house. Shout out to Sarah and to Sith Kitten.
There we go. So what's going to be really interesting about this is because I was having the electrical issues earlier, I was like, okay, because at the beginning, as you saw, my intro, I had on like a different outfit. Well, originally that's what I was going to go for and then change into the pirate after I did that first segment. But then I was like kind of sitting around waiting. I was like, dude, I got to at least make the best out of my time. So I did in this outfit a Friday video, which will be going up on Friday on my Secret Society. Of course, ShellySecretSociety.com. Shout out to all my Secret Society members who are watching this, being a dual member over here. I think... oh my gosh, I have to do it tomorrow because the first is on Friday. So tomorrow I'll be doing the next round of thank you videos, special shout out videos, whatever you want to call them, for people who are not only smoke out subscribers, but also part of my Secret Society. I'll make a note of that. But I recorded a Friday video in this outfit. I shot some hump day photos today in this outfit. I did a super sexy video in this outfit. I'll probably put it for the Vampire Lounge or Bike Club. Of course, I'll have it for a pay-per-view option as well. So I made the best of the time I had, but I kind of had to flip it. So I haven't even recorded the intro to this Wake and Bake just yet. So it'll be fun. I'm going backwards, kind of like that backwards episode of Seinfeld, you know? So... it's been a crazy day, but I haven't given up making up for lost time these last couple days where I should have been working. And even though I got a little bit of work done, not nearly as enough as I should have. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot. I got a little bit of Diet Coke left. This is actually my second shot of the day because it's been like that. So I already prayed over it. But positive vibes to all of you fine people out there. Chiming in over here. Chiming in. Never mind. This is the SH show that is me, Shelly Martinez. Cheers.
You know, it's really interesting because watching that clip totally reminded me of exactly what happened. So originally I was going to do the Tune In With Me video, then Wake and Bake, and then the Shannon video. And I needed for all of that, my lights to be able to work and things like that. And the electricity was out and we just didn't know why, because it wasn't the fuse. Again, the electrical company had to come out. So I remember I was like, well, I could use my camera and just use natural light to shoot for my Secret Society. So that's why I was like, I'll just do it in the pirate outfit because, you know, October was around the corner, blah, blah, blah. So it's so crazy because before seeing that clip, I thought I was more calculated about it, but I realized I ended up becoming calculated about it because I was kind of forced to. And I don't take any of it back. All right, let's see what else happens.
Schürzenberg here to say, not only am I pirate, but I'm German pirate. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm losing my damn mind. That's what the hell's wrong with me. You know what I mean? So when I was thinking today, I was like, I think it'd be really cute if, every show that I do for the month of October, even though technically you're going to be getting this on September 30th, it's still the first week of October. And I want to have a costume every episode for the month of October, because just my way of kind of giving that, I don't know, joining you people in the holiday spirit. For me, I used to love Halloween. I'm actually going to do a video for my YouTube channel for my Disgruntled Shelly series, so stay tuned for that. And it's going to be, my first video will be about how Halloween's all year long for me, if you think about what the essence of Halloween is, the spirit behind it, if you will. And as I've gotten older, I just dislike Halloween, the actual holiday. And I feel that I can go ahead and say that proud, because what people typically embrace during that season, or maybe just on Halloween itself, I embrace all year long. I'm a damn vampire. I'm a pirate vampire. Like, it doesn't get any more raw than that, people. So I felt like the way I could at least be a part of the positive, is showing up in theme, because that's one thing I love. Halloween or not, I just like being in theme, period. Whether it's St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, the holidays, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, New Year's. I just love theme, and I love wearing outfits, doing my makeup and hair in like a theme. So another thing I told myself is I'm going to not only do that here on the Wake and Bake, but I'm also going to start doing that on the Smoke Out. So if you haven't already, make sure to go check out. We have so many episodes, 45 episodes. We're doing it for a while now, coming up on a year. And I think that I'm going to wear a new costume every time. But this is the challenge to myself. I have so many costumes from throughout the years. The challenge is not to buy anything new, to use for these podcasts, costumes I already have, or maybe even make a new one out of stuff I already have. Like, I lost my pirate hat, which is so dumb, because that pirate hat I got from Disneyland, so it pisses me off. But I got this little hat I would wear with my Ariel stuff sometimes. So I put that with this little number. Now, recently, Danielle was seen wearing this as Pirate Danielle for the Secret Society Model Monday. Go check it out if you haven't. But I've had this outfit for a really long time, since my OVW days. That's where, as far as wrestling goes, Pirate Shelly came alive. I'll tell you guys all about it after I take this hit. So when I was living in Kentucky for OVW, for those of you that don't know, OVW was Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville, Kentucky. And that's where, back in the day, WWE would send talent if they didn't have a role for them yet, or maybe they had something in mind, but they need to kind of still feel like refine the talent or whatever, So, or to even see if it's for people, sometimes it's just to see, okay, is this person a person that is made for wrestling? Because not everyone is, it's not about being weak or not. It's a hard life. It comes with a lot, like the travel, how it affects your mental health, how it affects your physical health. It's a lot. So it's not for everybody, so I was in OVW. That's the first time I ever lived outside of California, and I would try to at least come and visit once, or twice a year. And one of the days that I came and visited, I went to Disneyland with Danielle, and at the Pirates, if you guys know this, if you are Disneyland or Disney World patrons, if you will, a lot of times these rides dump you off right at the little gift shop for it. So the Pirates of the Caribbean gift shop, I used to love buying stuff from there, and I got a pirate hat from there. Now at the time at OVW, Beth Phoenix and I were managing Damian Sandow. At the time his name was Aaron Stevens, and we did this whole thing where she was like the good girl and I was the bad girl. It was kind of, instead we loved going back to themes, we dressed in theme. So because I had that hat, I was like, dude, what if I'm like Captain Hook and you're Tinkerbell? That'd be a cute outfit. So we did that, and it just so happened around that time, that's when Paul Burchill was going to do this pirate thing. And at OVW, Aaron had a whole feud with Paul Burchill. So it was like the perfect, like, setting, if you will, without trying to be. Like, to me, it's just like got this pirate hat. I've always been part pirate, part vampire. Like, it made sense. I have Dead Men Tell No Tales tattooed on my ankles. Like, it's who I am. As much as I am a vampire, I'm also a pirate. So I need to start throwing that out there more. I throw so much love to the vampire. It's like, you know, I'm a pirate too, bitch. So anyways, so it was like one of those things where you would think it was this like orchestrated thing, but it wasn't. It was just, I thought it'd be cute to use that in our theme because I wanted to wear something from Disneyland and OVW TV. It worked. So what ended up happening is they changed the storyline in OVW to where I was obsessed with Paul Burchill. You go look it up, guys. Go on YouTube, look it up. Pirate Shelly, Paul Burchill. It's there. Oh my gosh. If you go on my YouTube channel, the first video I ever post on there is with me and Paul Burchill at OVW. That's a fact. Go on my channel. Put from oldest to whatever. Oh, someone called and it messed up my music. Oh, there they go again. They always call twice. If I didn't answer once, what makes you think I'm going to answer twice? So, it's called Pirate Love. That's what my video is called, Pirate Love. So what ended up happening is going on with OVW, they kept doing this thing where I kept getting distracted because I was obsessed with Paul Burchill, Psycho Pirate Shelly. And they ended up doing this thing where Beth and I had a feud, and it was so awesome. Like, as Pirate Shelly, I'd come out to the Sex Pistols, and it was really awesome. And when I would do my comeback, I'd go, "Arr, arr." So when all that was going on, Paul Burchill was on SmackDown being this pirate. So the way it works, I've talked about it a lot, but just to let you know if you're unfamiliar, the way it worked then was, let's say WWE was in town and they were like in driving distance of Louisville, whether it's like an hour or two. What they would do is they would tell the people in charge at OVW, you know, in this case, Danny Davis and darn it. Sorry about that. So anyways, the way they would do it is they would have, they would tell Al Snow or Danny David, or both of them actually, you know, we want to see these people that are under contract, blah, blah, blah. So what we would do was we go to the show. It was usually a TV taping. And they would just, some of us would do little promos. They'd kind of see where we're at, whatever. And I had that was a day where it was like super busy. And it was a SmackDown show. And I remember waiting to be seen, and then they're like ran out of time. So I saw that Vince McMahon was at the ringside, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell him what I'm doing with Pirate Shelly. Like, I brought my Pirate Shelly stuff. Like, why not? So I went right up to him, and I was just like, hey, you know, my name's Shelly. I'm in developmental OVW. I'm doing this thing where I'm obsessed with Paul Burchill. And to be honest with you, I feel Paul Burchill's missing something, and what he's missing is me. So I'm asking for opportunity to show you what I can bring to the table. And he kind of looked up for a second and he goes, okay, we'll try you out on Velocity tonight. And it's so crazy because there were people when after I did that, they didn't hear what he said, but they just kind of saw what I was doing. They were like, you can't do that, Shelly. You're not supposed to do that. And I'm thinking, why? I'm going on Velocity tonight with Paul Burchill. And so if you look up on Velocity, Paul Burchill, me and him, you see us come out, and it was awesome. You see the beginning stages of what I ended up doing as aerials, you know, hanging upside down. And so, we had a great time. It was awesome. and going back to like being so grateful for my wrestling career. Like, not only was I able to be a vampire Ariel, not only was I able to be a Chola Salinas, but that pirate in me, I even just for that one night on Velocity got to be Pirate Shelly, you know? And I was really hoping they'd go with it, because at the time, one of the Pirates of the Caribbean were, it's like huge, and I was like, dude, we could totally like go to red carpet events in pirate outfits, and like I pictured this like whole marketing theme, right? And so I got a call the next week, and they were like, well, they're going to kill off Paul Burchill's character, so they're not going to go ahead with it. And I was so disappointed. But it worked out. I got to be Ariel. Long live freaking Ariel. Long live all of that. But it's just cool that, like, I still got to be Pirate Shelly, and not just like on the indies or whatever. That one time on Velocity. Damn it. That one time on Velocity, I got to be Pirate Shelly with Paul Burchill, and I'll never forget it. It was so awesome. I wish it could have went further before they canned it, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason, so it's all good in the hood. But what's even more all good in the hood is I still have, even though I was a lot leaner when I wore, good thing this is stretchy, I still have one of my Pirate Shelly outfits. I have quite a few. In fact, there was a girl, Ronnie Jonah, who did really good like sewing and putting clothes together back in OVW, and she made me a lot of little skirts that I wore as Ariel, actually, but she also made me Pirate Shelly stuff. And so, wait, she made me the skirts. No, there was a seamstress that did the Pirate Shelly stuff. What was her name? She was really good. I remember going to her house with Beth. She was so nice. Oh, I wish I remembered her name. Darn. But positive vibes to both those ladies. But you know, it's just one of those things where like, it's so cool that Pirate Shelly got to be this thing in OVW, more so than any other place. But Pirate Shelly got her damn TV time on that Velocity, damn it. And I just think it's so cool, because the whole inspiration behind even bringing Pirate Shelly to life in the ring was because I went to Disneyland, and I wanted that pirate hat because I'm part pirate. And I was able to incorporate it because I always love being in theme.
Come on. Are you really that surprised that I have a pirate hat on standby? Come on. Are you new here? All right, let's take a deeper dive into this whole Paul Burchill pirate love, crazy Pirate Shelly, okay? So, as the story goes, my boyfriend at the time, he was another wrestler that was under contract, and he was one of these wrestlers that would get called up a lot, as we called it, and never really got a character to really, you know, he would be in dark matches and things, but he was never on TV, right? So they call it a loop. And what a loop is when you go a whole week of traveling and, you know, performing on the house shows, and hopefully the dark matches on the TV taping days. So that's what it's referred to as a loop, for those of you that don't know. So he was on a loop getting looked at, and I believe it was John Cena told him that he should be a pirate. He should wrestle as a pirate because he looked like a pirate, and he did. So, and my boyfriend at the time is the one that told me this, so I feel this is true. So then he said Victoria had some cute pirate stuff that you could dress up towards. It's not like it looks like it's for a girl, it's like for a guy. And so he used some of her stuff, and on the house shows was wrestling as this pirate. So he thought he was going to be the pirate in wrestling. I have no idea why they ended up going with Paul Burchill. they kind of had a similar look-ish, I would say, but I have no idea what the chisme is on that. But isn't that crazy that my OVW boyfriend at the time, John Cena said they made it happen, it was over, but then they gave it to Paul Burchill. And then I ended up, that must have killed, because at that point when I did Pirate Shelly, and I don't think we were together at that point anymore. We were on and off. Ugh, we were one of those. But I don't think we're together. So imagine, I wonder how he felt. Because there he was watching Paul Burchill do his pirate gimmick. And then there's Shelly. He deserved it. I'll stand by that. All right, let's get back into it.
You know, speaking of Disneyland, I miss it. I don't know if you saw me tweet not too long ago about Disneyland and how much I miss it. I went a couple years ago. I have a vlog I haven't even put out. I will do it soon. But it's just one of those things where, like, when I went, there was so much that was the same, which was awesome. But there was so much that changed too. It was, I'd say maybe a year or so before the whole like Star Wars land. What do they call it? I forget. The whole Star Wars land was a thing at Disneyland. So I remember it was under construction and I could see some of it. It looked almost done when I went. I went on my birthday. And it was raining, but it was fine because it was like, I used to always love being a SoCal kid, and I had a pass when I was in my young adult years. Danielle and I used to love going when it was raining because hardly anyone would be there. The lines wouldn't be so long. So it was cool. And it was the first time that, Metal Jesus and I had gone to Disneyland together. So that was a big thing for me too, because if you grew up in SoCal, and I'm sure it's the same thing for people who grew up in like Orlando, and you take someone you like to Disneyland, that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. That means you're on the road to the right. Wait, I think that shot's getting to me. You're on the right path. I don't know. I was going to say something else. Something witty, but today's so annoying. So, it was really cool, especially because it was to celebrate my birthday. I think it was actually on my birthday, if not a day before or after. I think it was on it, though. I had to double check. But, one of the things I was glad that didn't change was Space Mountain. I love Space Mountain. That is such an awesome ride. I don't know if you guys realize this, but I love space. I love the stars. I love the moon. I love planets. I've always been that kind of a gal. Like, maybe I don't know everything like Sheldon Cooper does, but like, I've always been fascinated. Like, Danielle and I, when we were little, we used to pop my screen window open, and there was like this little ledge that was really meant for you to put, like, if you wanted to have a little tiny garden. So it wasn't that big, but it was big enough for us to sit out there, and we would just put oldies on, and we would just look at the stars and talk about life, like potheads before we were potheads. And so I've always been drawn to the moon. So Space Mountain, I'm so glad. I hope they don't change it. One change that they've made before, but I accepted it, is I think it was during like a certain time of year, they used to have, instead of like the normal track that they play on Space Mountain, they would have, it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers version of Roller Coaster of Love. That was pretty cool. Like, they didn't change any of the graphics, but the song, just changing it to that song, it was pretty cool. But then they would put it back. Like, they would only do it for like a couple months, and then it would go back. And I like that because you still get your old school, but then like you get that if you want the Chili Peppers Roller Coaster of Love experience, So I really hope that I can go to Disneyland. I hope Disneyland doesn't turn into one of those places that are like, you have to show proof of vaccination or you can't come in. And if they are going to, I hope I at least get to go before they do that. Danielle's birthday is in January. and I was looking at tickets. My friend Jen Martin, I have lots of friends named Jen, I've noticed. My friend Jen Martin, who lives in the East Coast, she's going to be coming to visit in January. So I'm like, man, that'd be a good way to like an early Christmas, early birthday gift to Danielle. Go to Disneyland, stay at a hotel that's like right there, so we can keep Minnie there, you know, and then go check on her if we need to. Where they really get you at Disneyland is the drinks, because you can drink in downtown Disney, you can drink in California Adventure, but there's nowhere to buy booze in Disneyland itself. So if we had there's a hotel I used to stay at sometimes, and it's like literally right across the street from the main entrance of Disneyland. If we stay there, it'll be good, because we can just walk right there, check on Minnie, have some drinks, have some food, maybe some little snacky snacks, and then we have to carry all kinds of stuff, you know. So that's my dream. That's my dream, and I hope it'll come true. We shall see. But I'll keep you guys posted on that Disneyland trip. And of course, it's all about the ears going to Disneyland. And when we go, you bet your boots, I'm going to wear these, which Danielle got me for my birthday this year. Fancy Fruits is this, when we go to our tiki events, one of the vendors, and they make custom stuff like this. So if I show up to Disneyland with these on, people are going to be so jealous because they can't buy them there. Go to Fancy Fruits, bitch. Speaking of Space Mountain, let's talk about Ric Flair, shall we? So, in the latest smoke out with Stoner Jesus, shout out to Stoner Jesus, he is not feeling well. Send your positive vibes and healing vibes to him. You know, in our last show, one of the things I talked about was my feelings of Ric Flair. And you know what? Here's a clip right here. Somewhere in some other country, and Ric Flair was there. And at that time, I put Ric Flair on a pedestal because he was very charming. When I would talk to him, he made me feel like he was really listening to me. We had conversations that had nothing to do with wrestling and about like life and politics and different things. So to me, I found him very charming. Like how I've talked about on our show time and time again, how I love these old man Rivers in Hollywood because we have these like cool conversations that like a lot of people think are kind of boring, but like to me, it's stimulating. So that was my relationship with Ric Flair. I found him very charming, great conversation, you know, classy. Like I respected him. Like I just, not even to do with wrestling, like just my one-on-one, you know, interactions with him. I respected him. Like I felt he respected me, you know, like I'll say this, like, you know, yeah, there was a time or two that like he texted me something crazy, but like when we were one-on-one, we were in these conversations, he never came on to me. Like it was like really cool. We went there, we had these conversations, you know, and so I just was so charmed by him and really wanted to vouch for that, you know, especially when I was so young and I was seeing that a lot of these people who some way or another I found inspiration through were just douchebags. So to me, Ric Flair, I was like, wow, that's why Ric Flair's Ric Flair, because he's not like them. He's better than that. So we were at this bar, and then he saw me drinking my screwdriver, and he pulled me aside, and he goes, "You're too classy for that drink. Unless it's wine or champagne, you shouldn't accept it." And for many, 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 many years, I went by that rule. And whenever anyone said, just take the shot, just da-da-da, I'd be like, no. And they're like, oh, come on, why? I was like, Ric Flair said, and they would leave me alone. Damn, that's a good story. So,
yeah,
of course, if you want to see the full clip, go ahead and go into our archives. You know what? I will actually make sure to list it below so that you guys can have a direct link to it if you want to check that out. But the reason why I was talking about how I was so on board with him and sold on Ric Flair and everything was because I really don't like him. I really, really don't like him. And I haven't liked him for a really, really, really long time. And the reason why I don't talk about it is because I just don't want that negative energy thrown at me. If I were to talk about not liking Ric Flair before this Dark Side of the Ring came out, people would have been like, oh, Shelly's looking for attention. Oh, Shelly, who? Oh, you're so irrelevant. You're just so desperate. Blah, 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 blah. But really, it's like, no, dude, like, I don't like the guy. And now people, and it's so crazy because I remember, which was it like last month or the month before? Sometime during the summer, you wrestling fans probably remember this. There was a photo circulating saying that it was Ric Flair, and it looked like that he was giving oral sex to a gal that people were saying weren't his wife on a train. And then when it came out that it wasn't him, it's just somebody that looked like him, whatever. People I remember were like, because I saw that Ric Flair was trending, right? So of course I click. I'm like, oh God, did he die? Like, even though I don't like him, I don't want to hear that he died. So I was like, oh God, did he die? And so when I came across that, I was like, are you kidding me? And then when I saw people writing like, you know, Ric Flair's the man, like, oh, you know, to be his age and da 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 da, it was all positive. But to me, I was like, ugh, I can't stand Ric Flair. I'm glad he's not dead, but like gag me with a spoon with this whole story. Then the Dark Side of the Ring comes out, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those same people probably are singing another tune because like everyone went after Ric Flair. This is the same reason why I haven't ever openly talked about why I used to love him and now I dislike him and have disliked him for a very long time. So it's one of those things where like, okay, I understand people can say like, we didn't know these stories existed or whatever, but here's why I continue to like only talk about it behind a paywall and not publicly like on my YouTube channel or whatever, open forums for discussion, is because something I learned when I would really stand behind and be vocal about certain injustices or exposures of people coming out is I've seen many time and time again information getting out there, and so people are finally seeing these people for what they are, but then enough time goes by and then they think they're cool again, and then it's like, oh well, that was a long time ago and this and that, and it's like, but it never got dealt with. And that's why this is nothing new. This behavior of Ric Flair is nothing new. And to be honest with you, the reason, what made that switch for me with Ric Flair and what made me dislike him actually has nothing to do with stories like that were exposed on the Dark Side of the Ring and things. It actually is a very, very private reason that involves other people, so that's why I can't talk about it. I would love to. I'd love to sit here right now and tell you guys every single reason why I don't like Ric Flair. But it involves other people, and it's none of my business to be talking about their business. So I don't care if people like roll their eyes or think whatever. Like, I don't have to tell people why I don't like them. I just don't. And maybe a good example of why I kind of think I do think he sucks is what people are now seeing, that, you know, his behaviors from the past. It showed me what I needed to know to say, like, I don't like this guy, and I thought I did, and it sucked because I did think so highly of him for so long, and I thought he was different, and I respected him, but then that's when I lost respect for him. So again, I don't openly talk about and open this whole discussion up because enough time will go by and then people will go back to pretty much worshiping him again anyways. So I choose to pick and choose my battles these days versus fighting all the battles, because it gets very tiring and exhausting, and it takes me away from the things that I love and the things that I'm passionate about, and it dims my light. So that's why I just roll my eyes, flip my pirate hair, throw out some fangs, and move on. Oh, wrestling, you little bitch. You're quite a little bitch, aren't you? Well, I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Again, today's Wednesday. You'll be seeing this episode tomorrow, which is Thursday. I feel like I'm getting in that flow. And even though like I have my setbacks with my health and everything, I'm on a good track here. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff accomplished earlier, even though there was some downtime and I had to change things up a little bit. After I'm done hanging out here, I'm going to record the beginning, and then I got a couple other things to record. And then I'm going to be hanging out with my Secret Society for a little bit. I'm back to live streaming this week. So, it's a lot to do, but I'm getting through it. And I don't have anxiety about it, which is awesome. And I'm proud of myself for not giving up when that whole weird thing was happening here with the power. It was so strange. It was so strange. I'm sure you know what it is like maybe there's like some kind of weird wire or part that's old that needs to be replaced. I feel it's something like that. It's like something that just isn't connecting right. Such is life. All right, well, it looks like I'm going to get out of here because I have a lot of stuff to do. I hope you guys are enjoying this second Wake and Bake, the return of Wake and Bake. It's still just the beginning, though. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have segments. I have segments for you people. We're just not quite there yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. But thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Wake and Bake. I hope that your day is off to a good start now that we're here hanging out, sending positive vibes, and thank you guys just for all the love and support you're sending to me and to Stoner Jesus, supporting not just the Wake and Bake, but also our smoke out. Oh my gosh, the smoke outs have just become my therapy for almost a year now. And to be honest with you, like being able to have a friend like Stoner Jesus and we create together, I'm able to be vulnerable with him, on camera and hear his thoughts and just receive his energy. Dude, it has made me who I am today. Effing pirate / vampire Shelly, ready to just kick some ass. You guys want to kick some ass with me? Because I invite you to. Like, I'm over it. I'm over, just like many times, Stoner Jesus has said on the Smoke Out, he's too old for all this. As he always says, I don't give a shit. And damn it, I am too old for this. Like, I've always allowed other people to hold me back. And when I say other people to hold me back, I mean like I'm always afraid I'm going to hurt someone's feelings, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being aware of like you might hurt someone's feelings, so word it better, But sometimes I worry too much when it's like, dude, if my intent is not to hurt someone's feelings and if my truth hurts someone, like I say it with an open heart to where if they want to talk about it, no problem. Let's talk about it. Like there should be no bad vibes between anybody, but it happens, A lot of the bad vibes that I have towards people is because they're not willing to talk to me about these certain things. So I get it, And there's been times in my life I didn't want to talk about certain things, and I was the one being the butthead. So I get it. I've been on both sides. But something that has become a problem is when I'm so worried about hurting other people that it's not allowing me to have peace. It brings nothing but total drainage out of my soul. It doesn't serve me. I become not a good version of myself, and then it starts tinkering into like my personal life, and then it's like, I can't, dude. I just can't, you know. I have people that rely on me and my energy, and I can't let them down. And when I started to realize those people who are counting on me, they don't even realize I've been letting them down. I know it though, because I've been too distracted with this nonsense. And I say it's nonsense because it's, like I said, it's good to be aware of hurting people's feelings so then you can communicate better. Be more aware of your energy. Maybe not have that conversation just yet because it's not the right time, because you're not in the right energy. But just being so depressed, unmotivated, not myself, because of these little discrepancies I've had with all these different people. Grab me with a spoon, I'm over it. And that's what the smoke out has done for me. It's been a part of feeding that side of me that needs to be like, look, doesn't mean you're a bitch. It means you need to take care of yourself first. So who are you to be counted on if you can't even count on yourself, you know? So I've been working really hard on counting on myself. And it's been working out great. I'm still working on it. Every day is a new day. Every day is a step forward. Sometimes I take a couple steps back and it sucks. Because I'm like, dude, no. I didn't just take one step back. I took 2 or 3. But once I started surrendering those just like hurting people's feelings and this and that, once I started to surrender that, that's when I wouldn't be so stuck in those dark, deep, ugly moments. You know what I'm saying? So whoever needed to hear that, there you go. Boop. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back here on Monday. What will I be wearing? We shall see. So why don't you stay tuned here? Not sure what bat time, but same bat channel. Until then, I'm Shelly from Kelly, and I'll be smelling you later. Adios. That was a crappy one.
Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, first of all, R.I.P. to my bong. Oh my goodness. Long story short, I broke that bong a long time ago. It was a good one. We had a good ride, you know. Anyways, I totally forgot I talked about Ric Flair. I was real passionate about it too, and my feelings. But yeah, I stand by it. You know, God bless. You never know where people are at. I don't keep up with him anymore. So maybe he's a different person now. I have no idea. So no negative vibes, not sending any. So just to be clear, that was just me talking. Because at that time is when the dark side of the ring of his came out. And so that's why I was so annoyed about it, was because it became this whole like, ooh, gossipy like kind of thing. Just like Vince McMahon and all these other people. I don't know. People just get so worked up in their feelings. And you know what? Maybe they like it. Maybe they like to get all worked up in the feelings. Who am I to say that's wrong or whatever? But dude, I don't think it's very healthy. And you know, I really did learn the hard way that it's just not worth it. I hate to admit it, but when I used to try to be this little do-gooder and share my experiences in a raw way, or my feelings or opinions in hopes to help people, what ended up happening is person A is everyone's mad at, and they're just like want to know all the gossip and all the tea on. And then when that dopamine hit is past its course and it just doesn't even work anymore, and they move on to somebody else, I'm still the one over here having to answer to all these negative vibes being thrown my way and whatnot. It was too much. For what? For people just to go right back. Enough time goes by, like I said, enough time goes by and people go right back into putting money back in these people's pocket. A good example is Vince McMahon. People kept saying, oh, what do you think about Vince McMahon? Da, da, da. It's like, dude, it's nothing new. Look it up. If you do take the time to look it up online, this stuff has been out there for a long time. Maybe not the newer stuff, but not surprised. And I said, mark my words, the same people, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of the same people that were so anti-Vince McMahon are going to wait for his every move. And then once he does whatever, whether it's get back into wrestling somehow or something like that, they're going to be all, oh, and Vince McMahon and buying his shirt and all this. And it's like, dude, so what's the point of even opening up that can of worms, being vulnerable to people, to strangers and haters, just to have that? Like, it wasn't worth it, dude. It wasn't worth it. And I feel that people who are supposed to know what I have to say, feel, or think, life has a way of making sure they get that information. So, need I say more? So if you're watching this, this means you are a Secret Society member or a Vampire Radio VIP. And I would like to say thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it so much. Podcasting is one of my passions, as you know, so thank you guys for that support, so I'm able to do what I love. And as a little thank you, this episode, when you guys are watching it as the bonus, you're seeing it in its entirety. Whereas when I put it onto the audio, it's going to be snipped here and there. So that's your little reward. And if you're listening to this and you would like to become a VIP on Vampire Radio or a Secret Society member, go ahead and visit shellymartinez.net/links. You can find all the links there. What's the difference? Well, Vampire Radio VIP, that's just for podcasts. Whereas the Secret Society, that's my exclusive fan club. I've been doing it for a long time, and that's where you're going to get more than just the bonus podcast content. You're going to get all my other stuff that I have to offer. So it's up to you. Pick your poison. Well, that's all I got for you guys for this week. I'm tapping on out. Until then, I'm Shelly from Kelly. She's the podcast dog, Minnie the Moocher, and we'll be starting with you later. Adios.
Hurry back, and remember to bring your death certificates. Hurry back, hurry back.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great.